Welcome to the after party. This is the basketball postgame show. Of course, Nebraska basketball getting another win today. Not so much dramatic fashion. I think we could probably all use a nice breather of a game, and that's kind of what you got today in the victory over the Southern Jaguars. Have to shout out Southern Jaguars suits today. They're pretty good, nice road unis there.
Sharp, very sharp.
Yeah, but they did not present much of a challenge as the Huskers did get the win today. We'll run through all the stats. But DP, what was your biggest impression from the game starting out?
This story has a simple beginning, middle, and end. Its name was Bryce McGowan's. On a night where, there's a lot going on, here's what this young man put together. An 18-point, 11 rebound, 4 assists effort in 31 minutes. He put up 18 points on 9 shots. More importantly, that his impact on the boards, both sides of the floor, was necessary. It's a good thing to see, watching the young man say, you know what, offensively, I'll get mine. I'll get at the free throw line. I'll get done what I need to get done. But when you have the young Slim show up and give you 11 rebounds, it's a good day to be a Husker hoop fan. Yeah,
Huskers pulling away 82-59 in this one, the final, but they had a nice control at half, 39-22. I'm right there with you. Bryce McGowan's looked good. Derek Walker with his second consecutive game with a career high as he got to 15 points. Lonzo Verge took him a little bit, but there at the end added a few points to get to 14. Tamananga with a 4-point play involved was 2 for 5 from beyond the arc, 11 points there. Eduardo Andre had a nice day, spark off the bench, 8 points as the Nebraska had a height advantage, so all the big men kind of got into the action. So those are your leading scores today. Pretty another job done as a unit, but having some of your leaders out there again. I'm continue to be fascinated by what the starting lineup is going to continue to be. Keon Edwards once again probably didn't take as much advantage as he could of being the starter today, but at the same time, again, starter not playing starters minutes once again. So we'll kind of see how that develops. That might just be, you think that's just to keep the second unit together?
That's chemistry. That's just chemistry. First of all, Keon is a pretty high level defender. His length and quickness, he's explosive defensively. So having him with the first group to make sure things stay organized, he and Lott out there together to keep things kind of organized and structured. But then the offensive energy and the boost that happens when you put the second members of the second unit in. I mean, think about it this way: Wilcher came in. He was active defensively. Webster was active. Tamanaga, Breidenbach. This might have been Breidenbach's best complete game. And then Eduardo Andre. We got good Eduardo Andre again. Running the floor, finishing in his little 360 dunk on the breakaway was kind of nice. It was like, wait a minute. It's so funny to me too. Here's another thing that's funny. So there are fans, right? So those people who know all the particulars about the guys on the team and the guys who know who does what, right? They know, CJ can shoot the three, so it's okay. Man, that's kind of his job, shoot three. They know who the folks are. But what's happening is now you're getting some of those peripheral fans who don't particularly know. And there's a lady behind me. She goes, I heard her talking. She goes, when Breidenbach makes his first play, and she goes, yeah, he's a big kid from Hungary.
Just making it up.
Well, he's from Hungary. And then man, I think he's from London. And I'm going, hey, Ma, no. That's
not spreading bad information.
Yeah, she's like, the big kid from Hungary, he's got a funny name, so I think that's where he's from. And I just went, wow. So then when Tom Winaga came in, he goes, they knew who he was, but they didn't know much about him, right? And she goes, yeah, he looks like a baby face. He looks 17.
I don't know. He's a sophomore.
I was like, no, Ma, that's not how.
Hey, you know what? Well, today, and this isn't disappointing or anything, but it's not exactly a packed house for Southern, so you'll take any of the fans you can get, I suppose.
Oh no! I was glad they showed up, right? I was glad they showed up, but it was spectacular just hearing some of the stories. They were trying to figure out where Lot was from. It's like, man, you guys are really brand new. Like you are brand new. So it was good. I actually, the crowd was trying to find its groove. It was trying to find its mood, and it took them a minute to get it going, just as it did the Huskers offense. So as they finally got it going, surprisingly, like we didn't know from this that Derek Walker would find his groove again. Like this is a 15.7 out of 8 from the floor, 4 rebound, 3 assists, right? Consistent captain minutes in his 23 minutes. Like that 15. Look, if we the last 2 games, if we said Derek Walker is going to average 14 a game the last 2 games again, I mean, we don't care who it's against.
Oh no.
Yeah. That was kind of applause worthy,
especially on 8 shots. That's pretty efficient.
Efficient. There's still there's the elephant in the room, right? That this team that has shooters aren't shooting, and they aren't shooting well. They're shooting, but they're not shooting well. 4 of 23 from 3. That's a little. I don't know. Is that a Sunday afternoon thing, or is this just the part of the team's personality we're going to have to accept? There's some nights they're going to hit threes, some nights they're not going to hit any.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they haven't necessarily been a great shooting team so far, but you kind of know it's there. You're kind of waiting for some guys to pick up. Usually, C.J. Wilcher is hitting a few. Him and Webster in the games have hit a few. They were each 1 of 3 tonight from beyond the arc, 2 of 5 from Tamanaga. Every guy, Bryce, he can hit him. He's 0 for 4 today. Man, that's his job, 0 for 3. So, it's just, I don't know. I think that they should prepare not to always light it up because they seem to be better a shooting team than last year. And probably enough to call yourself somewhat of a decent shooting team, but it's not consistent enough. Before we go much further, let's take a quick break for station identification. We just got this thing started, so we'll be right around 10 seconds right after this quick station ID.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
See, I told you we didn't go anywhere. We're still here. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to go look at their stats now is kind of see what their seasons are. Obviously, tonight below the season average, but they're just, I guess that's maybe something that's a little bit underwhelming so far this season is their shooting totals behind the arc.
Yeah, because you watch guys who have the good stroke, and they're shooting from places on the floor that they look comfortable. And I can say myself, I've seen them hit those shots in rhythm at practice. It's just not happening in the game. It's just not like literally the same shots that go down. And again, some of that's being contested by somebody you don't know. You don't know how quickly they're going to get there. Their length may vary, may be different than the person that guards you at practice generally. Usually they're working in bunches. So if you're competing against the same guy every day rather than, a variety of people, that can affect you. Also, there's this thing that happens. The Huskers practice in a short-walled facility. And then they go over to PBA, and you get all that space and all that color, and it's a different backdrop. So I would ponder if the coaching staff has started to consider whether they need to practice more PBA. But you can't simulate the crowd noise, and you can't simulate the crowd, like the colors and the schemes behind them. You can't simulate that.
Yeah.
So, but the reality is, I mean, they warm up too. Right, they have time to come there before game and shoot. They have time to do all that stuff. From the Starter Hemi text line, again, you guys, we welcome you guys to add to the show and contribute. 402-464-5685 on the Starter Hemi text line, or you can call in Honda Lincoln hotline as well if you want to call in and give your 2 cents. Jordan says this: good to get the W, but you still feel like this team hasn't found its groove yet. You see it in short spurts, but you feel like they still have another level to go to despite winning by 20. Absolutely, Jordan. Absolutely. That some of this is building chemistry. Some of this is getting to know one another. Some of this is getting comfortable, like trying to get comfortable with your teammates. A lot of these guys are new to it. But the first group, I mean, you were getting your shooters in the right space. So, yeah, I'll have to pick their brain a little bit and see what I can find out about it. But there's some other things. So here are a few numbers. Again, bench points, 33 points off the bench. 33 points off the bench. Points in the paint, 46. Taking advantage of being on the floor with guys that don't have rim protectors.
Yeah.
Like, that's IQ. That I don't know if it's purposeful, but they recognize when you can get Derek Walker off, so you do that. Eduardo Andre, William Breidenbach, you can do that. 16 turnovers they created tonight. They only had 4 second chance points, but 13 playoff points. Here's that number: 15 of 17 on layups. It's a little bit different when you don't have a protector up there. They had 5 dunks tonight, which, again, for Husker fans who have been watching this for a few years, you go, 5 dunks. And Eduardo, I'm not sure I've seen a better dunk than Eduardo Andre's kind of
fast break one.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Right?
It came out of a big mess.
Right.
But Breidenbach got down, threw it up ahead to Andre, and he took advantage of the open court. He didn't just do the casual layup or casual dunk even.
Right. He gave it a little 360 action.
Yeah.
And put it up. He's becoming my favorite person to watch, because he's like this young fawn that's finding its legs. Right. And each time you see it, it's, oh, look, you've become more coordinated.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at you. You've become more graceful. Oh, look at you. You've become more, you're moving more comfortable. So three of the last 4 games, we've gotten good Andre. We'll keep track of that. So we're 3 out of our last 4 with good Andre.
And you wonder how much of it kind of leads up, the practice leading up or the day leading up, kind of how he's acting, how he's been playing in practice, because it was a quick, he came in quick. It was one of the first guys off the bench for Hoiberg today, and immediately helped. I mean, this was a team where Nebraska was going to have the height advantage, basically, regardless of whether Andre played or not. But he obviously can take advantage of that more than a lot of these other guys. And he immediately went in there, and sometimes, the numbers aren't always there. That's why I'm glad that you spoke up for Keon Edwards, and his numbers might not be there, but he's impactful defensively. A lot man's length. We know about how that can impact it. Again, not a big numbers day for a lot, but that's what Andre does too, as far as rim protection. You can see it, adjusting shots at the rim for others, and they had a problem finishing when he was in there. So he did. I mean, I thought that he played really good today, and when you just go down the line. Hats off to Derek Walker for getting 15 on 8 shots, but it's everybody. Everybody was efficient today. Verge had 14 on 5 shots. A lot, 6 of 6 from the line.
What?
Yeah, on 5 shots. Verge took 5 shots. So that's definitely development. McGowan's at 18 on 9 field goal attempts. Andre had 8 on 4 made field goal attempts, 4 or 5 from the field. So a lot of it, Tamanaga, throw him in there. 11 points on 6 shots. That's not volume shooting. That's efficient team basketball, and it showed it once again. Second straight game with 18 assists, and maybe the biggest win for Nebraska tonight, taking advantage of that size. They finally won a rebounding battle.
Oh, yeah.
Big round of applause for the Huskers.
Oh, yeah.
38-30 on the boards.
Oh, yeah.
Still gave up 8 offensive rebounds.
A lot of those were when they were stretched a little bit.
Yeah.
So I understood that there was, I think 4 of those came within like 45 seconds.
Okay.
45 seconds. So they did that thing. But yeah, that was the number I kept tracking on my phone was, okay, they're going to win the rebound. They're going to win the rebound. They're going to win the rebound. They're going to win the rebound.
Yeah.
And then, 30 rebounds. Like, I don't care who you're playing against. That needs to happen. Like, that needs to happen, that you commit to that. And that's some of the transition stuff. So they've conceded some of the transition, get out early, and we're going to send 3 guys into the break and hope the 2 guys get the work in. That's where you saw Bryce McGowan's do the heavy lifting tonight to make sure that he cleaned the boards, he got us possessions, and you didn't have to worry about it. The first half, they were 13 of 26 from the field. They finished 27 of 51. that 24 of 30. They actually held the 80% from free throw. Like they kept wavering. I'm going, please just finish above 80. Like, just finish me. Like, can we please
just once? So they've been crossing
right?
a few things off their list tonight.
Right? And then 18 assists on 27 makes. So to watch that Alonzo Verge 5 attempts, it did seem like he shot more than 5 times though.
Well, he got to the line. He got fouled on a few of them.
Right. Right. It felt like, but so Verge and his trust for Derek Walker is there. Like those two, Verge trust Walker with the ball and trust what he's going to do with it. As that expands, it'll be more interesting to watch. I'm not sure. Like there was one opportunity where Bryce McGowan's could, in air quotes, have given the ball to Alonzo Verge, who was out front. And Bryce was like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Let me run this. And he kept looking because it looked like he was going to get a one-on-one. He could have just gone in the basket and dunked. Verge saw it. It would have been a tough pass. But the previous possession, Bryce threw it across court and got picked off. So he was like, okay, I'm not going to do that again and get in trouble. Verge then fades. He curls and then goes out to the three-point line opposite of Bryce. And he's literally jumping up and down, waving to Bryce. Like, give me. Well, because in this system, especially when you have a Verge and a Bryce, if Bryce cross courts that thing to Verge, the thought isn't that Verge is going to catch it and go straight to the rack. What's going to happen is the defenders are going to turn their heads away from Bryce. And Bryce can do a full sprint straight to the back of the rim. Verge lays it up there and we get our moment.
Yeah, that'd be
right?
Nice.
You get our moment. But didn't happen. There's a lot of trusting that goes on.
They tried another alley-oop to Bryce today that wasn't there.
It hit him in the hip almost. Look, there were 3 plays today that I said, okay, that's why Bryce is an NBA dude. Because on an and one, he got bumped hard, and everybody else would have ended up in the sideline somewhere on the baseline. And Bryce managed to regather himself in the air, get it on the glass, and get an and one. And I went, yeah, that's a grown man move right there. Then the catch on the previous alley-oop, because that ball was an Odell Beckham Jr. catch that he caught with that thing and came down with it. And then there's another one where he did an up and under to get to the opposite side of the basket, and you went, okay, yeah, he's an NBA dude. There's no question about that. What do you say when people says that McGowan is in fact an NBA dude?
I think it's there. I think that's one of the best parts about this. Again, Nebraska does not get 5-star prospects. This is the first one, so and you know it's just weird. You look up your mock drafts. I don't know how many people do that. I'm kind of a nerd, but you look up your mock drafts this early, and you see him in there, and it's just to see a Nebraska guy there. You rarely see it. There's been a few times with Roby or even Petaway back in the day where throughout the season they'd sneak in at 29 in the first round. And you go, oh, Nebraska's got a guy that could be in the first round. They didn't end up happening. I think McGowan's definitely has that potential. And you know, it's nice to see him get back on the attack today. It's going to be interesting to see him take that step against, you know, what he's been able to do against the Southerns and the Western Illinois, and then do that against Creighton. And I think we'll see that as the season goes on against the Big Ten teams. But it'll probably be a step for that because again, he's really good at attacking the rim and getting to the free throw line, where he's 10 of 10 tonight. But against Creighton, didn't do that. Maybe, you know, it's just that different level. There's a better defender in front of you. It's not as easy to get to the rack, that first step or whatever. But I think that's what's going to be fun, is watching him grow, because he's going to continue to get this confidence as he plays these teams, and then going into the Big Ten when he gets his moments. And there's going to be some games where all the scouts, all the nation's eyes are going to be on a national televised game. You know, how much can he take advantage of that? He's preparing himself quite well.
He'll have, in the Big Ten season, he will have a 25-10 night. He will have one of those nights where he's 5 of 10 from 3. He'll have one of those nights where he has 3 spectacular dunks. They may not come on the same night.
Yeah.
But because he's willing to take the bump, and that's that pro wrestling terminology of are you able to take the bump? Because not everybody can take the bump. People think they can, but not everybody can take the bump.
No.
Bryce takes the bump and gets himself free points. And those possessions become valuable. because when you know that, look, he's athletic enough that he can elevate, take the bump, and then land the right way. He could take the bump and still get a shot towards the box and the glass. That's way more difficult than it is.
And he's probably, have you seen that growth from him already? Where the first couple games, the physicality was a little bit there for me, and but today he just seemed to be more prepared to land, like more prepared to know that bump is coming and how to react to it while still getting the bucket. It only took a few games.
Yeah, I was worried because the first bump today, I thought, what's his reaction going to be?
Yeah,
and he got more aggressive, which I was good with. There's some folks who don't buy into the Bryce McGowan's offensive aggression, but look, that's all of those dudes. Like they said that about Penny Hardaway. They said that about think of all the tall, long, lanky wings. Sean Marion, right? Guys that look a little different. The body reacts a little differently than you're used to seeing. I like the idea that this young man, he's not going to be a Bradley Beal type scorer. I don't think that's necessary. But his ability to put it on the floor, get to the rack, take the bump, get the easy points so that when the shot is on, and he did that today without a shot being on. So we got stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, there's plenty to look forward to. We're gonna take a quick break and get back to more. This is the post-game show, the after party for basketball, as Nebraska does get the win against Southern today, 82-59. DP and me, Jake Balkovin, DP and I should say. I'll take an English class, and we'll be back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Building a house today is completely different than it was a year ago. It's great. It's a great time to build a house.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
Interest rates are fantastic. Our lot selection is fantastic. Being a large volume builder like we are, we tend to get very good discounts from our suppliers, which has been very helpful. So if you want to build right now, it's a great time to call, make an appointment, set a budget, sign a contract. You're locked in. I'm locked in. Let's figure out your location. Let's get that lot reserved. It allows you then to have some freedom and room to sell your home for a great profit. In the end, it's going to be a win-win for you.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric has been serving Lincoln and Southeast Nebraska for over 50 years. They've been a trusted name to deliver honest, quality services you can count on. It's always important to know someone you can trust, whether it's for your home or your business. Action is well established and offers convenience and reliability, always committed to a job done right. Give them a call or visit their website at actionlincoln.com. Action, your proud sponsor of the Ticket Postgame Show.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 330 North 48th Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
The workday is long, the bills are due, and sometimes you just need to relax. There's no better way to do that than in your brand new hot spring spa from Bonzal Pool & Spa. With hot tubs as low as $75 per month and interest-free financing, you're sure to find the perfect spa to fit your lifestyle. So get over to Bonzal Pool & Spa today and check out their selection of hot spring spas. Bonzal Pool & Spa, 33rd and Highway 2. Every day made better.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
This is the Husker After Party post-game show, basketball edition. Once again, Nebraska getting a victory, improving to 3-2 on the season with an 82-59 victory over the Southern Jaguars. Hailing from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Like I said, like their jerseys, kind of like their style, but they need a little more height.
Always great uniforms. I'm slightly disappointed they didn't bring the band. Because the Southern University band is pretty exceptional, but that's okay. We will forgive them this time.
And for what it's worth, you hear Southern, maybe you don't, you're like, what's next? Where are they from? Well, Southern what? Southern Louisiana? Yeah, they're just Southern. So you might not think that that's that great of a ball club, but they pushed Louisville actually earlier this year, just lost by 12 to them. And historically they've been able, they traveled on the road, played Power 5 teams, beat Power 5 teams at times. So this was not like too big for them. And that's what I think sometimes you worry about when Nebraska beats a team without a name, and you just go, and it's a wide margin of victory. You just go, well, that must have been a bad team. I think Nebraska got better today. I don't think this was just a situation where Nebraska was just overwhelming for Southern to handle. I think if you played a few different times, they probably would be able to give you a better shot. Now, Nebraska did, again, I keep going back to it, had the height advantage and took advantage of that. And that's darn well what they should do, especially when you're not shooting well beyond the arc.
Well, I mean, it's an opportunity for you to work on philosophy. It's an opportunity for you to work on scheme, right? To make small corrections, because you will see things. Each of these possessions is a teachable moment. So if you can figure out during those moments to tweak and twist the small things that need to be done, rebounding against size also works when you're not rebounding in size. If you put your work in, the basic concepts that who do you identify to? Where do I need to get my eyes? Do I need to get hands on, body on? Can I check folks out? Where are these shots going? All of that stuff they figured out. And Southern was not an awful rebounding team. So to come out and get your 38 versus 30 still says for Nebraska that they took the thing that they didn't do well and purposefully got better at it. Like as a fan base that you can go, okay, we're not good at rebounding. We'll get better. Like we'll try to get better. We want to get better. And then they tell you, and then you look and you go, oh, you actually put work in.
Yeah.
You actually put work in. And again, it's Southern. That's not Iowa. But that helps.
And you mentioned earlier too, the what you have to do to give some up that rebounding is what an opposite. It's sometimes it's just coaching. Sometimes you just think, and it's partially effort and the stuff we talked about earlier, but part of it is that Hoiberg's kind of said, okay, that's too much of a problem. Let's dedicate more to rebounding, but he has to give up those fast break points. That's been the case the last couple of games as they've dedicated more to rebounding is less fast break points. Is that the way you think they're going to probably just as far as philosophically moving on forward, or do you think it's just depend on matchups?
Well, it depends on matchup, but the rebounding, cleaning up offensive rebounds against usually affects your shooting. That's why Fred likes to get out. That's why he sends people out because they're early and they get better looks, right? So the shooting percentage goes down because you're focusing on defensive rebounding. Those things are directly connected. So there's that. It also allows those shooters to get in their rhythm, right? Because then their timing, the spacing becomes better. They get to see how people close out against them. When you do it in a half-court set, it's a lot more condensed and it's a lot more physical. But when you can get out and get 3-on-3 or 2-on-2 in transition, there's a lot of space, and shooters become more comfortable in that. But Fred, look, he'll tell you, we had to clean up the offensive rebound.
Yeah,
we had to. And look, if they put up 82 points a game, they'll win half Big Ten games. That number, but the fact that they're able to figure out how to get points when the shot isn't going down, right? On a 4 of 23 3-point shooting night, they still figured out how to get to the free throw line. They figured out how to knock down the free throws, which is another Big Ten thing, right? You're going to get fouled in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
You just are. Are you going to hit free throws? Because the free throws will keep you in games. Making threes will help you win games. So they know what they have to do going forward.
Yeah, and impressive to get to 82, like you said, just hitting 4 threes on the night. One of them a 4-point play, so that helps a little bit. But most of it's in the free throw shooting. 24 points from the free throw line compared to just 9 for Southern today. So Nebraska, again, the bigger team can be more physical. They have to learn to be more physical as they get into Big Ten play. And today was a good test for that. I did want to ask you this because you thought that perhaps Trevor Lakes could at maybe some point be inserted in the starting lineup. Do you think that he's got a role down the line on this team? Still kind of getting the end of the bench minutes there. Wait till the game was out of hand. But as a guy that we know can shoot, if they continue to struggle shooting, do you think that he'll get more of a look?
They keep shooting 4 for 23. Trevor Lakes will get more minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Trevor Lakes will get more minutes. Well, because look, Trevor's physicality helps him. When he plays with intelligence, Trevor is a real problem. They're trying to get consistency out of it, right? What can we count on? How do we use him appropriately? Like, whose minutes does he get? The thought was that he would get Trey McGowan's minutes. At some point, you peak and go, okay, what if you started Lakes instead of Edwards? Now he's not as athletic. They're similar shooter types. They defend differently. There's different energy when they're on the floor. But knowing what Trevor would do plays its part. Like that's when we use circle and go, okay, we'll circle back to that. Because there may be some use. And then the other thing is, I mean, look, you can go with CJ Wilcher and then see whether you get better minutes or better productivity from Keon Edwards coming off the bench than CJ. Like, you got to consider those things. Also, they will at some point. I mean, tonight we saw Breidenbach and Derek Walker on the floor at the same time. Yep. We saw Eduardo Andre and Derek Walker and Breidenbach on the floor at the same time. So it's evolving to find out which combinations will work, which ones. And we saw the Kobe Webster and Alonzo Verge backcourt. So as they mix and match to see whether what fits and what works. And I think by the time you get through the holiday tournament, you'll have a pretty good idea about what you're going to do. So you can head into the Big Ten play with an idea about what pieces are in play.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch that play out. And usually this year so far, when the bench has been strong, it's been from Webster. It's been from Wilcher. Tonight, they weren't the leading guys off the bench. Webster did have 6 points, 2 steals, 2 rebounds, and assists. I mean, he's still a stat stuffer for what he could do there. And Wilcher had a decent night again. 3 points, not so much in the scoring column, but didn't take too many shots, just 3 points on 3 shots, but 4 assists. That was tied for the team lead. So I'm not saying they didn't do anything. I'm just saying they've been kind of taking the scoring impact off the bench. Tonight it was more Tamanaga with 11, and he got a lot of those in the second half, and Andre with 8 kind of leading off the bench. So that's good to see too. Not that you don't like to see players just catch fire and keep it, from game to game to game, but it's not just the different guys, but the different types that those guys are. Webster, Wilcher, Tamanaga, Andre all play vastly different roles, and they all can spark you off the bench.
Well, they know that they need to bring energy coming off the bench. Like, they're all aware that's what we're there for. And you saw CJ pumping up the crowd a little bit, trying to get them going on a couple of sequences. They know that the crowd has a different energy and vibe when they're on the floor. That's a statement of truth. The second group brings a different energy, and the crowd their back straightens, and they're like, oh, okay, here we go. Like, what are we going to see? They love watching the guys shoot. Now, they're perplexed. The fans were perplexed. It was, those are supposed to go in.
Yeah.
Like, those are supposed to go in. But to have that sort of problem isn't a bad problem to have. That you have guys on the bench who you can put on the floor who have a way and a means to produce, and then you just got to get them. And that group is going to be a problem in the Big Ten. Like, that second group is good. Look, there'll be nights where that second group is going to drive Big Ten teams crazy because the shots are going to go down. They're going to also be nights where nothing happens, nothing works, and we'll scratch our heads.
Yeah,
but that's going to be it. So we mentioned Alonzo Verge Jr. 14 points, 4 or 5 from the field, 6 of 6 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He had 4 turnovers, which is that thing that you need a coachable moment. He and in that space that he had 4 turnovers. Bryce had 4 turnovers. But after that, it kind of chilled, which was necessary. But the guys who touch the ball the most can't turn it over the most.
Yeah. And they I mean, Verge is, for all the flack that Verge has got this year from the fan base, I suppose, he hasn't turned the ball over that much. I think that's a season high of turnovers for him. And they were doing good on turnovers in the first half. I didn't take a picture or anything. I don't know exactly what it was, but they had a low amount of turnovers in the first half, and then it seemed to just start adding up in the second half. Maybe that's playing with the bigger lead, taking more risks than you maybe would with a closer game. But it was overall, if you had to say something, of course, Nebraska kind of did maybe lay off a little bit with the bigger lead as far as bringing in different players, stretching that second unit out, playing them a little bit more. But it was just a 6-point difference in the second half. Nebraska ended up scoring 43 in that half, Southern 37. And I think part of that is a little bit more turnovers in the second half.
Huskers had 9 turnovers in the second half, 6 in the first.
Yeah.
And that you could see Hoiberg's frustration with it at some point because he would have different conversations with different players as they went. The Huskers shot 3 of 9 from 3 in the second half. Bravo, 12 of 17 from the free throw line. They were 14 of 23 from the field in the second half alone. They had 17 rebounds and 8 assists in the second half. In the first half, 21 rebounds and 10 assists. So the numbers are there. They shot better from 3 in the second half because they were 1 of 14 in the first half.
Hard to shoot much worse.
Wow. They were better from the free throw. They were 12 of 13 from the free throw line in the first half. And then 13 of 28 from the field. So you see the numbers just screaming at you that they got better at certain things tonight. As you said, this team got better tonight. Are they where we want them to be? No. And I think they would agree with that. We'll go up and down the box score. Verge with 14. McGowan's with 18 on 9 shots. Latman, you cannot play a Big Ten game with Latman only taking 4 shots. That's not good enough. Derek Walker with 15 points on 8 shots. Keon Edwards was 0 for 2 from the field. Wilcher with 3. Again, I want more shots from CJ Wilcher.
Yeah,
I want more. Kobe Webster 6 points from the floor. 6 points for the game. 1 of 4 from the floor. 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Trevor Lakes, of course, came in late. Tamanaga was 3 of 6 from the floor. 2 of 5 from 3. That's a plus. That's a plus to watch him see that going down.
He has not been hitting them. And then, his first one that he hit tonight was that 4-point play. He came right back, took another one, got fouled, and went to the line again. But he's been doing a good job of the last couple of games is knowing the scouting reports out on him, knowing that they're going to do everything they can to prevent him from shooting a 3. And he's got skills once he can put the ball on the floor. And so he did a little bit of that again tonight. It wasn't necessarily, didn't show up too much, didn't get an assist or anything, and only took 1 shot from inside the arc, but he did make it. I think that, I think this is probably his career high. It's pretty short career so far, but 11 points. You could say that's a major step forward for them. And really, it seemed like everything was there tonight. I wouldn't complain about too much of anything besides the 3-point shooting. And it wasn't one of those games where they were forcing bad 3-point shots. They just weren't falling. So that's something you're going to live with sometimes. That's why teams were hesitant and coaches were hesitant for decades. Everybody knew, everybody could figure out the math that 3 was worth 2. That wasn't the problem. It's that unless you had Steph and Clay in your backcourt, that most nights than not, you're not going to always hit at a high enough clip. Now the 3-point shooting just seems to be better in the game of basketball, but you're still going to have those nights again, unless you have Steph and Clay in the backcourt, where you're just going to not be able to hit a whole lot. And that's why we talked about this last post game. A lot of teams like to build their identity on that defensive side of the ball because you can rely on that being there. That's more effort. That's more, obviously the coaching has to go into it, but that's more effort based and can be more reliable from night to night than 3-point shooting.
I do want to say, Joe P says, good seeing you tonight, ballgame. Yeah, Joe P, good seeing you too, brother. We were handing out fist bumps in the lobby there.
Nice.
Try to make sure that we got through. Breitbach, I thought from a scheme standpoint, him being in the right place at the right time, this was his best night. This was his better night. Their ability to run high-low with Breidenbach, this was his best night. Defensively, he was in the right place at the right time tonight. And then he also didn't lose control emotionally and become a wrecking ball. Because sometimes Brian
can do that.
Brian Bach will just decide, well, look, he didn't have that body mass before. Now he can move people. So
he's a physical player.
Yeah. Like he's just out there every now and then. He'll let you know, hip check, just to let you know I was out there. And then Eduardo Andre. So what do you want done with Eduardo Andre? Like, what's perfect for you? How do they use him?
I mean, if you can get that tonight, again, I think he just gives you something different as far as rim protection that maybe you don't quite get with Derek Walker, who's a kind of a tougher. If you're going back on him, he's a veteran. He's a good down low presence, but he's not necessarily. And he could get blocked. So I'm not trying to limit what Derek Walker can do. I'm just saying Eduardo Andre just kind of has that length and athletic ability that he adjusts shots at the rim. So I'd love to see him develop into a player that they rely on night in, night out. Maybe eventually get to the starting lineup, but kind of in that type of role. And maybe it's too early in his career to think that can happen. Again, if you know his story, he's only been playing for a few years. But I just think he's got a pretty high ceiling.
They do too. They do too. What they want is consistency.
Yeah,
like that. That's really like Hoiberg would want. I would imagine that he wants to trust Eduardo Andre to be the same Eduardo Andre from night in and night out.
And I think he's doing that too. It's kind of adjusting to the certain games that he's playing. Like against Peru State, he just had this was the exhibition. He had such an advantage. He was just dominating, and it was awesome because, sometimes you can have the height advantage, just say, well, whatever, it is what it is, and I'll just go out there and loaf around and get a few rebounds and some points. But no, he said, I'm going to go out there and get mine tonight. And he did that. But there's other games where it looks like he's almost trying to do too much. And maybe it's that he's just a tougher assignment that night, or maybe it is something just mentally for him that day. But it's weird to say because you want the effort, but sometimes it looks like there's just too much effort, or there's too much something there for him, and it's causing him to not have his best game. But again, tonight you got good Eduardo, and whatever that key is, whatever that difference is between him looking like he's kind of overwhelmed and there's too much in the moment for him, as opposed to tonight. I mean, even on his missed shot, he had a nice little move that he needs to finish, but he was close to, it was a nice move inside. And so you kind of just see he's just got a lot of the game that kind of is natural to him, but he's still learning it.
Yeah. And in that space, right? In the space where other bigs are there, in the space where you have ball dominant guards, when you have wing players who are athletic and can get into your space, right? That can take away some of your landing strip, right? Your ability to just get up and go make things happen. So he's identifying what needs to happen for him. Like, when is it safe for him to go to the rim? When is it safe for him to just catch and gather? Because now he's starting to trust that, well, I've got cutters and I don't have to panic. I just need to hit these cutters. He's better at that. He's calming down in it. Like I said, he's had 3 out of 4 really good nights where he was just settled into what was going to be required of him. It looked like he was playing like he knew what was happening, rather than hoping something would happen. Yeah. So that's part of his process. He's not a big city basketball kid. So he's learning how to do this. He's learning how to do it on the fly. He's not from Chicago, Detroit, LA, Miami, New York, Queens. Like he's not that dude. But he's learning as he goes, and people are willing to share that with him.
And that's why I was partially so happy to see him be with that first group that came into the game, is because he didn't get a whole lot of minutes last time out against Idaho State, just 5 minutes in that game. And I just thought with the height advantage that they had, this is a good learning game for him, or this is maybe a good just confidence game for him. Is that kind of, as you watch these guys grow, and Nebraska still has a few games left here that people are now labeling buy games, because you pay for these teams to come in and you hope to get the win. As they have a few more of these, and some of them have height, so it's not always going to be that type of deal like it was today. But is he among the group that you're looking at the most to grow there, because he's got to kind of learn to play, still learning the game, so still learning to take advantage of his height before he plays against the Big Ten guys where there's no advantage there. You're going to have to go height for height in that one.
I don't think he has height fear in the Big Ten. He's faced them already. Yeah. And nobody he's going to face is better than what he faced last year. So there's that part. But I also think a lot of it for him is just trusting himself. Like, that's a big, important thing for a big, long gentleman that has – there's a lot of moving parts to a 7-footer, especially within confined space. He's got to learn how to maneuver all of that within the short windows and the small boxes that he's put in. He's learning it, but it's going to take him. It's going to take him 10 games before, you know what? He sees everything. He'll be able to slow down his movement once he catches the ball or once he's preparing to catch the ball, and the Huskers will have another weapon.
Yeah, it's going to be fun because as we mentioned, I mean, you think about the Illinois, the Purdue's. I mean, there's some games where they're going to need him and need his height in there, and then there's going to be games where Derek Walker's in foul trouble or whatever the case may be, where they are going to lean on him for heavy minutes, and he's looking more and more ready to get there. And like you said, it's not just him; it's Breidenbach who's kind of figuring out the best way. I mean, he's just got so many tools and way to help the team. He's kind of figuring the best way to do that. And that second group, it's fun to see how much, because they have some of those growth pieces on there. It's going to be fun to see how much do you want to keep them together and really give a big headache to the scouting department. I mean, because when your assistant coach is going to have, 2 sheets full, and I know they already, I'm not saying that any team's easy to scout for, but having a full unit come on the floor and say, hey, everybody, okay, this is the second unit. Remember what we went over? This wasn't the first, so it'll just be difficult, I think, to scout this team because they could throw so much at you. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we will look at that schedule. Some of the games coming up next for Nebraska. We will be here for most of them, if not every one of them, here on the Husker After Party or Husker Basketball After Party Postgame Show right here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket. Every Saturday morning now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric has been serving Lincoln and Southeast Nebraska for over 50 years. They've been a trusted name to deliver honest, quality services you can count on. It's always important to know someone you can trust, whether it's for your home or your business. Action is well established and offers convenience and reliability, always committed to a job done right. Give them a call or visit their website at actionlincoln.com. Action, your proud sponsor of the Ticket Postgame Show.
The weather has changed, and now it's time to adjust your footwear to change along with it. Stop into Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q to get ready for cooler temperatures and fashion trends. They're stocked with Hey Dudes, Brooks, New Balance, Danner boots, Keen or Merrill hiking boots, and plenty of other options. Plus, they have Nordic beach jackets and bindle tumblers to take to the gym with your new athletic shoes. So get to Brown's Shoe Fit today at 66th and Q.
One host has a red beard and thinning hair. The other also has a red beard and thinning hair. One host got married over the summer. So did the other one. One is a diehard fan of a sub-500 AL Central baseball team. So is the other. Can these two radio hosts do a show together without getting confused as to their own identity? The same couple. Happer and Schaefer. Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The workday is long, the bills are due, and sometimes you just need to relax. There's no better way to do that than in your brand new hot spring spa from Bonzal Pool & Spa. With hot tubs as low as $75 per month and interest-free financing, you're sure to find the perfect spa to fit your lifestyle. So get over to Bonzal Pool & Spa today and check out their selection of hot spring spas. Bonzal Pool & Spa, 33rd and Highway 2. Every day made better.
We are wrapping it up here on the After Party Postgame show for the basketball win tonight. Nebraska basketball 82, Southern 59. Huskers get the big win. Bryce McGowan's back to leading the team in scoring again tonight and was a beast on the boards. As we'll run through the numbers real quick for you if you're just joining us once again. Bryce McGowan tonight leading the Huskers with 18 points and just 9 shots from the field, 10 of 10 from the free throw line. 18 points, 11 boards for him tonight. Derek Walker with his second back-to-back career high night of 15 points to this time out, 4 rebounds and 3 assists, and all those were before the half. He had a very good first half, and just the entry passes, whether it was from him or to him, were really impressive all night. So those were kind of your leaders tonight. Tamanaga also with 11, including a 4-point play. And Alonzo Verge, 14 points on 5 attempts. 6 of 6 from the line. So he did get fouled a little bit more, taking it to the hoop. But still, I think that experiment is going in the right direction. This is definitely not a ball-dominant Alonzo Verge that we saw in the first few games. He's starting to kind of understand that role. Still has the scorer's mentality. Will still have a possession or two where you think, I guess if you're mad at him at times to pass the ball, but he's I think that process is starting to look better.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. There's the Huskers also send out the season stats, and so Verge has taken the most shots on the team, 66. The second closest person is McGowan's with 56. But McGowan's and Verge have made like the same number of shots, off of 10 less shots. 22%, 24%, 25% is the shooting percentage beyond 3 for those starting shooters. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. They will tell you that. Webster's 5 of 10. Bravo. CJ Wilcher's 8 of 19. But then Latman's 4 of 16. And that's not good enough.
No.
McGowan's is 5 of 21. Not good enough. Verge is 2 of 9. Not good enough. But there is that upside where 78, 87, 77, and 80% from the free throw line. Those are numbers that we can kind of wipe our brow and feel better about. If I asked you who the leading rebounder is for the Huskers, what would you say?
Ooh.
Right?
Maybe Verge still.
Right?
I mean, he had it the first few games.
Right? So here's the thing, right? That Bryce McGowan leads this team in rebounding with 34. Second is Alonzo Verge with 29, and then Derek Walker. And then CJ Wilcher, right? So the numbers, like, you have to pay attention to what's happening inside the circle. 24 assists by Verge is 3 times the next closest person.
Yeah, that's one he would be
right,
way ahead.
Right. So yeah, as you work on that, right, that your assist or assist to turnover, but he's 2 to 1 assist to turnover. He's 2 to 1. 3 to 1 makes you pretty elite.
Oh yeah.
4 to 1 gets you to the league, right? So we understand what that is. I'm trying to see what this is. Yeah. So most of these numbers tell you kind of what you would expect. 7 steals. So yeah, it's starting to form some personality types. And then we can look at guys like Eduardo Andre and Brian Bach and what they're offering. Brian Bach shooting 23% from 3. Tamanaga shooting 24% from 3. So we know what you knew. Tamanaga's averaging 5 points a game. Like, I think we're satisfied with that,
especially with him not shooting all that well.
Right, the number, yeah, and the number of shots, right? So that's a big thing. Eduardo Andre with 14 rebounds, Brian Bach with 12. That tells you, for the minutes that they're playing, there is production, and that's important. So this team is shooting 44% from the field, 27% from 3, and they're shooting 75% from the free throw line. Benchmarks should be 50, 40, 80. So there is room for improvement. We know those things are there, but at least we know where we're starting from.
And it's interesting, too. 2 of the starters outplayed today by 3 guys off the bench. Webster Wilcher and Breidenbach all had 19 or more minutes, while Latmayan and Edwards had 17 and 10. We've gone over Edwards, just kind of an interesting thing there. But Latmayan also intriguing because that's kind of around the number that he's had so far. Of course, had an injury to start the year, so maybe that has something to do with it. But his minutes so far this year is 17 minutes today, 18 against Idaho State, 21 against Creighton, and 18 against Sam Houston State. Do you think that that's around the number that you're going to get from him? He doesn't necessarily, they don't experiment with him as much in the second unit, or do you think that it's still kind of recovering, or is it just the fact that he is 4 of 16 from beyond the arc and that's his calling card?
All of it. I think each thing has its role and its purpose and how they dissect whether Latman is giving them what they need. And I would guarantee you that he knows this.
Yeah,
like he knows. Look, I got to shoot better. Like I just need to shoot better. Yeah, I need to rebound better. Latman got 1 rebound tonight. Look, we know we saw too many nights last year where he had to have 7-8 boards just to keep them in the game. So 1 rebound isn't going to get it, even in 17 minutes. It's just not going to get it. Now, I'm going to put some of that on Bryce McGowan's being so active on the boards, right? Some of those long rebounds that Lat would get, Bryce McGowan's just snatching those. So there's some of that. And then also, let's just another reminder, one of your captains isn't playing. Trey McGowan's isn't playing. So top defender, on-ball defender, help defender, your best defender is sitting on the sideline on the scooter, right? That offensive cog, that emotional leader, the guy who is explosive and can get to the rim and have everybody in the room stand up and cheer at their loudest because of what he does athletically, is not playing the last 2 games. So there will come a time when those things are missed. I'm not sure they can replace what Trey McGowan brings to the table. That's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
That's going to be an issue. But if the young guys keep playing with their energy, at least from their energy standpoint, some of it will be recovered. We're just not sure how much.
And it's interesting as we break down the next few games. Of course, they will be without Trey McGowan's. We'll see how long he's out. It's 4 to 6 weeks. It's kind of just but you never know with those things. But that's kind of the estimated time period for that, I think, as far as when he might recover from that injury. But it's always good to see him on the bench there supporting his teams, as he's the team leader. I mean, he's right up there with Derek Walker as the team leader. So now Nebraska again 3-2, 3 winners of 3 of the last 4. We can cut that first game out, and then saying 3 out of 4 sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, really. Yeah, right. It's like, woo, they're rolling.
Yeah, now they're doing pretty good. But 3-2 on the season. You hope to add a few more victories to in this week. Actually, this upcoming week, Tennessee State comes to town, an 8 p.m. tip-off on FS1 on Tuesday, and send South Dakota 1 o'clock on Saturday after Black Friday. We'll have a nice little Saturday matchup there. And interesting enough for those teams, Tennessee State and South Dakota just played each other. So I'm looking to run down that score. I believe South Dakota won that game 83-66. So maybe that Saturday game could be a little more dangerous than the Tuesday game based on that result. But and then the record also indicates that too. Tennessee State will come into Lincoln at 1-3. South Dakota, they might have a game in between them, but right now 3-1 for South Dakota Coyotes right now.
Yeah, I think it falls just that way. I think the tougher of the two, Tennessee State is not the tougher of those 2 teams.
Yeah.
But they have some guys who play with high energy. If you look at their numbers, they're shooting 40% from 3, even if they're 1-3. They're 1-3 from beyond the arc. Shooting. Wow, I'm looking at these. Okay, here it is. I had to look at the number twice. They're 27 of 68. So of the 180 shots they taken, 70 of them have been one out of 3 is a 3-point. So
and they shoot pretty well.
They shoot 65% from the field. They shoot 50% from the field in general.
They must not play defense. What's going on,
bruh? That's a lot of shots. It really is a lot of shots. But to shoot, but they don't get the free throw line much. They've only shot 58 free throws.
And also, look for what it's worth, too. South Dakota is the opponent that, after Tennessee State, also did play Southern, the opponent tonight, and they beat them 71-68. So kind of gives you a kind of an idea of what's going on with the upcoming teams. They shouldn't be I mean, together, all that much more challenging than Southern, but you never know. I mean, South Dakota, that's just one game, 3 wins.
They've
so
got
far
some
in the
bigs.
season.
They've got some bigs down there.
Yeah,
they've got 6'11", 6'10", 6'10", 6'9". They've got some bigs at Tennessee State.
Okay.
So
different matchups, and
yeah, you're gonna have to work on different things.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch as that plays out. A nice week of Nebraska basketball action for us coming up. Of course, Nebraska football finishing things off. We did our post game yesterday. DP, before we get your thoughts tomorrow, let's get a little hint about the because you didn't get to do the post game. What did you think about the game yesterday?
No,
you got 2 sentences.
No,
you saving it for tomorrow?
No, it just I want what I want, and I'm not getting it. So
yeah, right there with everybody else as far as the win column goes.
Come on, man. I'm not asking for too much.
It doesn't seem like it, but I mean, I think there's one thing. I already made the guarantee. Nebraska will have more total yards than Iowa. I think that seems pretty safe. Iowa again.
I don't care. I just want them to have more points.
I know.
I want them to have more points. Like, why is that not the focus? I just want them to have more points.
It is the focus, but at some point you just want to feel good about something. If you're focusing on the win column, you're really pretty low on yourself right now.
I want them to have more points than Iowa. Nothing else matters.
But Iowa's like the opposite. They never get more total yards than you, and somehow they're going to win 9 if they beat Nebraska.
Because they get points.
Yeah,
they
figure it out one way or the other.
Just get points. That's all I care about.
Well, I'm a little late hitting break here, but we'll get to it. We'll fix it. Again, this is the end of the after party. Husker basketball again with the win tonight, 82-59 over Southern. We'd like to thank you for joining us here on a Sunday afternoon. There's nothing better than Husker basketball getting a victory, and so we enjoyed that, celebrated that tonight. Again, Bryce McGowan's leading the way with 18 points for the Huskers. Up next, we'll be here for the post-game show against Tennessee State, but a nice a couple games to tease for Connor Happer. He's going to go to Memorial Stadium. He's going to spend a few hours here on Monday and Tuesday, actually, for the high school championships, Class A and Class B. So it's just going to be great. There's going to be a great couple days here on 93.7 The Ticket, as there usually is, but some events going on as well. So that'll wrap it up for myself and DP. Thanks for joining us. Nebraska again with the win. Have a good night.